Startups have so many more options than just either bootstrap or raise from a VC, but nobody talks about what else you can do. Our startup is likely going to raise a seed round at the end of this year, and so I've been looking a lot into this and getting information from as many people as possible, and there are so many more options for our company than I thought we had. So let's go through the entire spectrum of options that you have between bootstrapping and raising from a tier 1 VC if you're at the seed stage. And just for context, a seed round, you are likely raising between $3 to $4 million at an $18 to $25 million pre-money valuation. And that might be high. It's the 2026 median, but there are a lot of AI mega rounds that are probably making that bigger than it needs to be. Either way, let's get into it. The next option under bootstrapping, where you're going to maintain as much control as possible, take on as little dilution as possible, is going to be just bringing on a board of advisors who have big networks. Simply put, you can think of this as equity for intros. In the case of our startup, our best introductions are heads of sales within staffing or consulting. So what we could do with this option is go find 5 to 10 people who have big networks in this space. Maybe they've been CROs of these kinds of companies or are just in groups and around a lot of these kinds of people. We could say, hey, if you give us X amount of intros into these people, we will give you X amount of equity. The downside here, no money's actually being raised and there is some dilution. So you have to be very confident in your product and confident in your ability to close when you have one of these meetings. Because otherwise, if you just get a bunch of introductions and do nothing with it, you just gave up some of your company before you were ready to do it. The next option after that is going to be assembling lists of accredited investors and basically dialing for dollars. These are going to be people who write 1 or 2, maybe 100 to 150K checks a year. And so if you go through enough of these people, you could assemble a seed round. One of the biggest pros here is that you are going to control the term sheet. You can take exactly your offering to these people and say, we're looking for this size investment at this size valuation, and here are our terms. The downside, it is very time intensive to go through massive lists of these people. It might be expensive to even assemble this list in the first place. The best thing you can do for this, be born into a rich family. Nepotism is going to help a lot here in terms of getting warm intros to people who can write checks of that size. If you have no network in that space, it's going to be a lot of time on the phones. Which brings us to our next option. You can also pay essentially a high ticket salesperson to go call those people for you. So if up here you were going to raise a $3 million seed round, you might increase that to a $3.3 million seed round and say, we will give $300,000 worth of commission to somebody who calls enough of these people and fills out our round of $3 million. The pro here is that you, the founder, get to save all of this time making these calls. The con here is that that person's commission is going to be extra dilution that you didn't necessarily need to take. That $300K that you pay in commission is money that you had to raise, which equals equity that you gave up in the company. However, there was a massive time savings if this person was successful at filling out your seed round. The next option is crowdfunding. You could use a Kickstarter campaign. If you have enough interest in your product, you can basically open it up and get investment from all over the place and handle it through Kickstarter. The downside is you need to have a ton of traction and a lot of people